Hey, it's Huntington disease Todd here. Friday night. Hallelujah. Hey, I was just thinking about, some of the posts I've seen in this past week, people talking about, difficulty in having communication, getting things done with their spouse that has Huntington's disease. And, so it made me think maybe there's a better way, of dealing with getting along, a better way of getting along with somebody with Huntington's disease. So I've thought of a few things that I could share, that I have seen that work with me, and I know that they'll help. So first off, you have to be a little bit lighter on yourself. Sometimes you can get too judgmental of how you treat your loved one. Us Huntington's disease people, things don't bother us as much, as they probably bother you. So if you're getting upset at us, or if you're getting angry with how we're acting, most likely it's not affecting us the same way it's affecting you. So I would say, first off, better at getting along is just try to not judge yourself so harshly. Don't feel guilty. Don't hold that, resentment or hostility. Let it go, because there's going to always be the next time, and there's always going to be tomorrow. With Huntington's disease, it's very difficult, and it's not always going to be you're going to probably have more types of conflicts. Try not to be overly aggressive and too pushy, or try to put things too strictly onto someone that has Huntington's disease. I find that if I get pushed too hard, even it could be just asking me a question more than one or two times about going shopping or something, going to the store or going to something like that, it can make me flip a switch every now and then. Again, we've talked about this before, but my wife and I, we know about getting apart from each other, having a little bit of separate time. Again, I understand everybody with Huntington's is different, so, you may be facing things that are somewhat different than I am. So try not to be too hard on yourself, then try to give yourself, if necessary, some space. But one of the things that I've noticed really a lot more about myself is I cannot do anything spontaneously. I can't do anything at the drop of a hat. I can't make a decision like right now to go do something. I need time to plan things out. So even a week, or even a day, or even 2 days, whatever it might be. I'd much rather have more time in my brain, because my brain is slowing down and processing things differently, right? So sometimes you can get yourself all worked up because you try to push too hard, on that particular thing. And then, there's a chance I could even change my mind, right? I could change my mind about wanting to do anything. I could say, yeah, I want to go shopping tomorrow, but when tomorrow comes, don't always mean that I will. So that's just how it is. But the better way to communicate, or the better way to deal with it, is try not to push things on us, Huntington's people, too quickly. Sometimes, again, I was walking out of the house today, and it takes me a while. I can't remember everything I'm supposed to take, trying to gather up my keys, my phone, and all that. And it sounds simple enough to you, but to me it's very time consuming. And sometimes I can still drive, so I sometimes go off by myself. And in those moments, I have the time and the opportunity to find my things. Sometimes I can feel like, I'm dragging behind on Wendy. It used to be that the wife was always the one that didn't get dressed on time. Now it's becoming more the Huntington's person. So I can't do things at the drop of a hat. No one can with Huntington's disease. So try not to put us in that position. Some people too try to always guess what your spouse is thinking, or second guess. You've been married a long time, or you want to do things for your spouse, or you want to finish sentences, or you want to get through the conversation so you can get on down the road. Unfortunately, that doesn't work real well either, because sometimes it wasn't what we were thinking at all. You could add your 2 cents, and we might have needed 4 or 5 cents. So it's all very challenging and difficult. But I'm just giving you some hints from the standpoint of how I've felt myself and how I sometimes feel like I'm changing. I have noticed a lot, though, that spur of the moment things are not a reality for me. So sometimes if I want to go off to a race on Saturday, I'll start that process of planning it 3, 4, or 5 days in advance. And it stresses me out if I don't get the answer back too. So if I'm trying to plan it and things get put off, so that can be a strain on me. So then if I have a strain on me, it can manifest itself in me, becoming a bit ugly, unfortunately. So again, this is all about, how to deal better, or how to, get along better with someone that has Huntington's disease. And one of the final things that I would talk about is the fact that my wife and I are in the same house, but we share separate TVs. I have my TV in the family room, and she'll watch TV in the master bedroom. That being said, we text each other quite a bit. Another thing that I need to happen in these text things is I need to know an end to them. So, having an open text dialogue with me can drive me nuts as well. I want closure on that. So, you can't leave me hanging. I always need the final understanding of when it's going to end, what's going to happen next. Our grandson has started playing in Saturday basketball. So I like to have all those schedules. I like to know when they are. I like to know where they are. And if someone just says, meet us at the gymnasium, it can throw me for a loop, because I know that there's only 2 courts, so it's kind of hard to mess that one up. Soccer fields was one that got me, though. It just meet us at soccer fields. Well, there was like 8 or 9 or 10 soccer fields. When I got there, my brain almost went into meltdown. So hey, these are things that you can do to make it easier to get along, and it can also make it easier for all of us to to have a little bit easier communication and less head scratching. Painting a clearer picture for your Huntington's disease spouse is always better. And again, we're going to act the way we're going to act. Don't take that as anything on you. And sometimes you're going to feel bad, possibly, because you're going to think you spurned it on, or you made us act that way. We're not acting the way anyway at all. Our brain is doing things to us that we really have no control over. So my brain could cause me to be one way or the other, angry or happy or sad or whatever. It's no reflection on you. And I've said this in earlier videos, but I kind of like to remind every now and then, it's not the disease, it's not the person, it's the disease. So just always remember that when you're faced with these dilemmas. How to get along better with Huntington's disease. Hopefully these hints will help. They were a bit more, just simple life tips, I think, which will help you get along better in your house and your daily life. Hey, it's Huntington's disease Todd. Come to my page and subscribe. I'm going to try to go, I think, tonight, maybe out to a car show, so I might look at a few more exotic cars, or whatever you want to call them. I know sometimes I put them on, as short videos. So anyway, Huntington's disease Todd. Have a good night, and happy Friday, or happy weekend.